dinner on Monday, meatless for me, but not for Jared. But it's our usual breakfast, some scrambled eggs with spinach and cheese, and then some skillet potatoes. Delicious. We just season them with salt, pepper, garlic salt, and then throw in some cut up onions in there. And we use yellow potatoes and they're really good. And this time we made some homemade biscuits. They were really easy. First time to ever make them. Only took, well, they're called 20-minute homemade biscuits. So I'll put the recipe below, and then next time I make them again, I'll show the process. And then just some cut up pineapple.
Onion was from our garden, and we tried the bacon a different time by putting it on a bacon rack, and it looks delicious.
And Jared has bacon, yeah. So that is what is for dinner on Monday. Tonight for dinner we're doing a slow cooker honey sesame chicken. This is a recipe from How Jen Does It. We made it once before, and Jared's the one that put it together, and it was like almost pretty much unedible because it was too spicy. She calls for a half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and he thinks he may have added like a tablespoon of red pepper flakes or half a tablespoon. I don't know. It was good besides that, so I want to try it again. So here I have my chicken breast. I'm going to put it on low. And right here I have mixed together a cup of honey, a half a cup of soy sauce, a half a cup of diced onion, 2 cloves of garlic, a 1/4 a cup of ketchup, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I used a 1/4 of a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Like I said, she calls for a half a teaspoon, but I went ahead and we can add more spice later if we want. So all I'm going to do is pour that over the chicken, and we'll let it cook in the crock pot for about 3 to 4 hours. So I removed the chicken after a few hours. I ended up cooking it on high because I didn't put it in until 3 o'clock. So it's been a few hours, and I'm adding 4 teaspoons of cornstarch and 6 tablespoons of water. I guess I should have mixed the cornstarch into the water before I added it, but oh well. I'm going to go ahead and mix that together, and then cover it with a lid and let that cook for 15 minutes to thicken up. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut up the chicken. And there it is. We just served it over rice with some steamed, or boiled I guess, green beans. We bought a big frozen bag from Costco, and then that's just seasoned with butter and salt, and also some more pineapple. So I'll put her recipe video below for that, and it is really good and full of flavor and smells amazeballs. Tonight for dinner I'm making something new. It's called Wicked Tortilla Wedges. Got it out of a vegetarian cookbook. So right here I've got a couple tablespoons of olive oil heating up in a pan, and I'm going to add to it 1.5 pounds of yellow potatoes that I diced up, and then about a half of a yellow onion diced. Alright, I'm going to let that fry for a few minutes. Okay, I went ahead and seasoned the potatoes with a little bit of salt and pepper, and then after a few minutes I lowered the heat and I'm covered it, and I'm going to let it cook for another 8 minutes. Once the potatoes are tender, I'm going to add some white mushrooms that I've sliced up. Let that cook for a few more minutes. Okay, now I'm going to add a cup of frozen peas and 1/3 a cup of frozen corn and stir that in to the mixture. Alright, so now I have to level out the potato mixture, and I'm putting a couple tablespoons of freshly chopped parsley on top. And then in this bowl I've got 4 eggs, 2/3 cup of milk, a teaspoon of Cajun seasoning, and a little bit of salt. So I'm just going to pour that over the top of the potatoes and let it cook on low for about 15 minutes. Okay guys, I wasn't sure what I was doing. The recipe says to let it cook for 10 to 15 minutes and then put it under a broiler to like finish it off, and I was thinking it needed to like cook all the way through and then you put it on under the broiler like just to brown the top or something. But I let it cook for like 20 minutes and it still wasn't done. So finally I just figured maybe you're supposed to put it under the broiler to finish cooking it. So that's what I did. I finally just put it in a 400-degree oven under the broiler, and now it's done. I think I may have overcooked it a little bit. I'm not sure. I had it in there for about 5 minutes, and it doesn't say to top with cheese, but since it's an egg dish, it just seems like it would be good with cheese. So I went ahead and put a little bit of cheddar cheese on top, and I guess we're about to eat it. Here's the book that I got the recipe from if you guys are interested. See, here it is. Let's see, it says try with a sliced tomato salad. There it is up close if y'all are interested. That's why I showed the steps, since this time it's from a book. that I like this book. This is the first recipe I've tried. But anyway, it says try it with a sliced tomato salad. So I googled Spanish tomato salads and just came up with this. Very simple. I just sliced up a couple of large tomatoes, and it also says red onion or yellow onion, but we don't like raw onions, and also some green bell pepper. And then I just topped it with some EVOO, some red wine vinegar, and some salt. So very simple, and we'll just have more the rest of the pineapple on the side. Tonight for dinner, it is Thursday. We're making some chicken guisada. This is what my Mima calls it. She's Hispanic and she makes this and it's so good. So I attempt to make it as good as her. But I have a pound of chicken that I diced up. So I'm cooking that in some oil, and I seasoned it with some salt for now. I've had my pinto beans cooking for a couple hours. Just pinto beans and some water. Let it cook on a low boil for a couple hours. I went ahead and added some salt and about half a can of Rotel to that. And then over here I've got my potatoes boiling. I'm going to make some mashed potatoes. So just mainly working on the chicken right now. Okay, the chicken is not quite done, but I'm going to go ahead and add some bell pepper that I just cut up. And also some chopped up onion that I already had in the fridge. I would prefer to use sliced onion, kind of like the bell pepper, but I'm out of onion and this is all we got, so this is what we're going to use. So I'm going to keep it on about medium heat, and I'm going to cover this and just let it cook slowly. Alright, after about 5 minutes, it already smells good just with those few ingredients. I'm going to go ahead and season it with some ground cumin. Don't really have any measurements, just kind of whatever you think tastes good. So some cumin, some black pepper, and some garlic powder. Now my grandmother uses fresh spices, like whole cumin seeds, you know, and she grounds them up in her molcajete and stuff. But this is a lot quicker and it still tastes good, so I'm just going to season it with some garlic powder and black pepper now. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit of water to it. I don't know why, that's just what she does. And then I'm going to cover it and let it cook some more. Alright, so I let that cook with the lid on it on like medium low for about 10 minutes. Now what I'm going to do is add about half a can of tomato sauce. Like I said, use as much seasoning as you want. You can add some more water to it. I may add a little bit more water along with this tomato sauce. Alright, and then I'm going to cover it again and let it cook on low, medium low for about another 10 more minutes, and it will be ready. And there it is. It's a little bit of work, but it's pretty simple. We got the mashed potatoes, the beans, and the chicken. And then we got some mango on the side and also some sliced up avocado. And there is our Thursday dinner.